Today I'm going to show you how to build your prototype water bottle rocket. The things that we'll need begin with a 2-liter plastic water bottle, and we're going to need a hot glue gun, preferably low temp, scissors, a nice straight ruler, and a good sharp marker. We need 2 types of tape, both standard Scotch tape and also clear packing tape. I need a sheet of good solid sturdy fin material and a nice sheet of paper. This can be scrap paper. The 8.5 by 11 works well because it fits around the bottle. And then you'll also need a paper clip and a long rubber band. Now to begin, I'm going to take my plastic water bottle and I want to reinforce it. I'm going to use my clear packing tape to do this. I'm just going to take the clear tape and I'm going to wrap it one time around the water bottle. And this is an important safety step because what this is going to do is it's going to reinforce the bottle. As we pressurize this bottle and pump air into it, it'll provide strength just to make it less likely that that bottle will explode on the launch pad. I want to smooth it out because wrinkles will cause turbulence and decrease the performance of our flight. Once I have that done, I'm ready to go ahead and mark my fins. So I'm going to take my sheet of paper and cut a strip. There's no rhyme or reason to this. I just want a thin strip of paper that I can wrap around my bottle. And take my paper and I'm going to wrap it around the bottle, and I like to use a little piece of tape just to help hold it in place. And I'll wrap paper around the bottle, and then I'm going to cut it right at the point where it meets itself. So what I end up with is a piece of paper that is exactly as long as the bottle is round, or the length of my paper equals the circumference of my bottle. Now, since I'm going to have 3 fins on this prototype, I'm going to go ahead and fold my paper into 3 equal pieces. If I had 4 fins, I'd fold it into 4 pieces. Since I have 3 fins, I'm folding it into 3 pieces. Unfold it, and I'm going to put it back around my water bottle. This time I am going to use tape. I do want to hold it in place. I'm going to wrap it around a couple pieces of tape to secure it. And now I have some marks that'll show me where to put my fins. So what I'm going to do is go around the bottle here, and I'm just going to place a mark at each one of the creases in my folded paper, and I'm also going to place a mark right at the point where the piece of paper meets itself. Now what that gives me is 3 marks on my bottle. Each mark is equidistant around the bottle. And that'll tell me where to put my fins. Now I'm done with this paper. I don't need it anymore. I can just pull it off and go ahead and recycle it. Okay, now that I've got my marks on my bottle, I'm ready to go ahead and actually draw the lines that'll guide where I put my fins. And to do that, I'm going to go over to a door jamb. And this is really simple. I just hold my water bottle up against that door jamb, line up my marks with the side of it, and I can use the frame of the door as a guide. And that's going to give me a nice straight line that runs perfectly up and down the longitudinal axis of the bottle. In this case, I've got 3 fins, so I've got 3 lines, and it's perfect. Okay, now I'm not going to make my fins right now. I'm going to wait until the aerodynamic engineers bring me the fins to put on the bottle. So the next step is going to be to make my nose cone tabs. And the easiest way to do this is to start by drawing some squares. So I'm going to start by drawing out some 1-inch squares that I can use to make my nose cone tabs. You don't need to watch me draw squares, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the video here just a little bit. And now I'm finishing up my squares. Again, these are just simple 1-inch squares. I'm doing this on the fin material, by the way. This isn't paper, this is good, sturdy, solid fin material. Got my 1-inch squares, cut them out. And these don't have to be exact. If the measurement's off by just a little bit, nothing's going to hurt it. But I have 2 1-inch squares. And what I want is triangles, so I'm going to divide each of these squares in half diagonally, and that's going to give me a total of 4 1-inch triangles. Now what I actually want are half-inch triangles, so I'm going to take each of these triangles and cut them in half. Again, I fast forwarded. You don't need to watch me cut out each of these, but when I'm done with it, I have 8 1/2 inch triangles that I can use for my nose cone tabs. Now, to mark my nose cone tabs, the easiest way that I've found to do this is to just take a ruler or some other straight edge, and if I hold the ruler up against the side of the bottle, I can tell really easily where that bottle curves, where the straight part of the bottle ends and the curved part of the bottle begins. So I just move my ruler around the bottle, and I use my marker to mark that spot where the bottle and the ruler no longer touch, and that shows me where the curve begins. And that spot where the curve begins, that's going to be the upper level of my nose cone tabs. Really simple and effective way to do this. Now, a lot of students don't put nose cone tabs on, they forget about it, but the nose cone tabs are going to be really important to help hold our nose cone securely on the rocket as it sets on the launch pad, and also to keep the nose cone from sticking to the rocket when it flies. Alright, so I've got my marks made. I'm now ready to start gluing on the nose cone tabs that I previously cut. And this is really simple. I finally get to use my low temp hot glue gun. I'm just going to run a bead of glue down one of the short sides of my tabs. I'm going to line it up so that the top of the tab is equal to the marks that I just made. So the top of the tabs occur right at the spot where the bottle curves. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit here because you don't need to watch me do all of these. You can put as many of these on as you want. You really only need 4. I have 8 of them, so I'm going to go ahead and put 8 on. Give me a little extra stability. But again, you could get by with only doing 4. But when I'm done, I've got a nice, sturdy, solid base for my nose cone to set on after I get my nose cone constructed. Now, the last thing we need to do is we need to make a device that will allow us both to attach the nose cone to our rocket and to attach the parachute. And to do this, we're going to start by bending a paper clip. Now, this paper clip is going to be the only piece of metal that's allowed on your rocket. If I take a paper clip, just bend it at a right angle so it's got a little loop that sticks up. Now I need a long rubber band. I take that rubber band and cut it so it forms a long elastic cord, and I tie one end of that rubber band to my paper clip. A nice sturdy knot there. And what I like to do is take just a little piece of my masking tape, or scotch tape, excuse me, and just wrap it around the knot I just made, and that'll keep that knot from slipping out and give me a nice secure contact there. Now my rubber band is connected to the paper clip. The last step then for this part of the prototype construction is I'm going to take my hot glue gun and use a little bit of hot glue to glue that paper clip right to the top of my bottle. Again, I'm being careful here. I don't want to actually touch the bottle with the tip of the glue gun because it could melt the plastic bottle. But I'm going to apply enough glue to hold that paper clip firmly in place. And so what I have now is a little metal loop sticking off the top of my bottle. To that metal loop, I've tied my rubber band, and that's also where I'll tie my parachute. In a later film, we'll talk about fins and nose cones as well as the recovery device, but for now we're done. Thanks for watching.